So today we're going to dive into Launchpads and take a look at what's really moving the market in the metaverse, how these things work, maybe which ones are good investments. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back to TechPath. All right, today is the Launchpad day to analyze. And now, before we get too started on this, understand that there's a lot of Launchpads out there that we did not include in this list. Doesn't mean they're not good. It doesn't mean that we didn't look at them. It just means this particular group are some ones that we're watching. And before we get started on all this, these are market movers. Market movers are pretty straightforward. We get them right up to the neck on understanding what's happening in the project, do a little news analysis, and then we'll drop in our own technical analysis, mostly coming from our CPI, and I'll explain that, but not investment advice for you guys. This is really an education side of things on our research that we do all the time here. Let's jump over to StarLaunch. We can kind of catch coin market cap right here. It's currently trading at 1305. If you look back, obviously this is a brand new project that just launched not too long ago. And then of course it has had a nice little run up here, all the way here into the middle of November, which is really where it started to move. The project had a little bit of a correction down here. And of course now trading in that $13 range. So you've got the all-time high currently at 22, looks like $22.10. And this is one of those launch pads that are interesting in the sense that it's so tied into Solana. And if you look at all of the different launch pads out there and which ones are really kind of getting a little bit of that escape velocity, this is one of those that has that kind of scenario when you look at the overall ecosystem for Solana. This one I really like. Of course, now live for trading on Radium. So if you do not have a Phantom wallet, which is really easy to get. You can move your Solana into your Phantom wallet. Go check that out. Go research it. And then you can drop into Radium and then make a trade. So if this is something you're interested in, we do have a technical analysis on this that it's actually on TradingView. So I will show that here at the end of the video just to show you guys where this one stands. Another one I want you guys to check out is Gamestarter. Trading in right now at $2.78. If you look at their all-time, you can kind of see where this project has come from back here in August on its launch and has had kind of this little honeymoon phase right here in the fall. Then it started to move a little bit. It had a bit of a dip, and then it has kind of come into its own. And I feel like this project is probably in the phase of where it's going to be before it takes a move. And we are going to look at a cross comparison on sentiment for each of these four projects that we're looking at. And of course, Gamestarter, interesting. Upcoming IGOs, they've got 12 Legions IGO coming up here. Looks, what was this total raise? Yeah, 120,000 USD. Also on this one coming soon is Suni. You can kind of see how these launchers work in terms of how they bring games to market. There's several of these projects out there that are emerging like this. Metaverse has also been one that has just recently started to go in this direction. We're not looking at Metaverse today, but that is one that, of course, has also kind of gone in this direction. But Gamestarter, definitely another one that you guys should start taking a look at. You can get those, and you can do this on MetaMask pretty easily. Just connect your wallet up there and go that direction. Another one that I like is Babylon's. And just full disclosure, I own Babylon's, which is BABI, B-A-B-I. This one is now trading at basically 23 cents. Let's take a look at all time on this one. You can kind of see where this one has gone. Now, this is the textbook approach to going after some of these hidden gems. In this particular case, being a Launchpad hidden gem, is to really look at how these tokens perform from their launch period and then through these cold winters per se. And if you look back here at Babylon, when it launched right here in August, it had an immediate push, which is typical of early tokenomics and people cashing out, those kind of scenarios. It adjusted. The market, of course, got soft. We saw here in September it go down to basically 7 cents. And it kind of hovered in that range right there, 7-8 cents, before it started moving a little bit in October. And then has had this little bit of run up right here in November, right before or right near Thanksgiving, to 29 cents. Which is where we kind of see this framework right now. So this is one of the reasons that I got into this. Now, another one, of course, if you look at Babylon's in general, a game aggregator and an NFT marketplace on Binance Smart Chain. So this is another one to me because I really like the Binance Smart Chain. We probably should be doing an ecosystem analysis of what projects to look at on BSC. Let me know in the comments if you'd like us to really drill down into BSC. There was a comment on our last live stream, I just wanted to mention this, where they wanted to see a little bit more analysis on the Avalanche ecosystem. We did do an analysis on the Avalanche gaming ecosystem in a video, so just search our channel right there for Avalanche and you'll pull that one up. So those are how we'll go in and really drill down into this one as well. The other thing that is kind of interesting here is another fully doxed team, which is something that I feel like you have to have in terms of really kind of getting where and what these projects can do out there. The other advantages here, next generation NFT marketplace, low cost minting, which I really like, just again back because of BSC, weekly rewards, and also DAO governance, which is very important, I think, if you look at community style concepts of where launchpads are going. DAOs being decentralized autonomous organizations, meaning there's no CEO, there's no corporate office. Typically, it's a governance that's really more of the community style. We've talked to several people about DAOs in the past, and many have mentioned that they feel like this could be kind of the next layer of investment vehicles that could emerge in the crypto space. Babylon's kind of being in this role is a good sign. So again, not a bad project. Definitely one that I'm going to be close on. And as I said, full disclosure, I own this one. The next one I want you to take a look at is ROCO Finance. Now, ROCO Finance, again, another project that fairly new. If you go back and look at this one, just launching in October, but it took us straight up and it's kind of held. So when I look at projects like this, now, me personally, I have not invested in this one, but I'm looking at it really strongly just because I see consistency with this one. And also just in general, when you look at where they're going as a true launchpad, they have some interesting aspects about what they're trying to do. And I think that's the other thing that you look at what just GameFi is doing in general overall. So it's a decentralized platform, provides blockchain services to game developers, content creators, and which I think is cool, and then player communities through the blockchain network. So I kind of think as we start to see more of these kinds of projects that go beyond just a launchpad that are typically funding or some sort of blockchain development partnership, I think the next layer of launchpads are going to have to be adding value in other ways, and I think ROCO might be one of those that's doing that. So that's another advantage for that one. I want to jump over to TradingView real quick and take a look at StarLaunch right here. Yep, and so this was the chart. So back here early on, again, remember this is a very young project. We pulled its first sentiment data set, which was right here on November 24th last week. Sentiment came in at 70.29 and amplification at 68.63. Not a high range of amplification, but did take a nice little run up right here. And then we looked at this fall off right here, which was basically a 42% drop in StarLaunch. And I think that's the typical adjustment period that you normally see with some of these projects. And then this one, of course, now registered in right here on November 30th. Just yesterday, we pulled sentiment at 72.06. Again, this is one of those things that's important because when you have a sentiment in a short period of time that's starting to track up between 70 and 72.06, and then an amplification that's also starting to move from 68 to 69.81, almost 70. This starts to make a very interesting case for how this could go, but it is a little weak, and you can kind of see it in just the short-term chart right here on what's happening with StarLaunch. So we see it pretty much sideways, even though it's had a little bit of a dip right here. We think that's going to come back into play. So let's kind of watch this one. This, though, I think is kind of in the middle of the pack for some of the projects that are out there overall. I want to get to our actual sentiment comparison on this one. And Babylon's is really kind of the leader out of this group. And let me kind of get to Gamestarter, which comes in at a 72.19, the highest sentiment score but a little softer amplification. That's not necessarily a negative for Gamestarter, and it's definitely one of the OGs in this particular group. But amplification being a little bit soft simply just means they haven't launched anything. The minute you get something that starts to roll up, either it's a partnership or you have something, remember, amplification and sentiment come from our CPI, our crypto power index that is designed around sentiment tracking of social media platforms around these particular project mentions. 6539 is a little bit softer, but still a very respectable amplification score. StarLaunch, mainly I feel like this one's getting this kind of score right now. As I said, it's kind of the middle of the pack. But I think it's getting this score because of it being so new, and there's still a lot of people talking about StarLaunch. Babylon is the one, though, as you can see, both sentiment and amplification tracking very close together. So I think BABI is one that has some potential. And if you go back and look, and we will in a second, go back and look at Babylon on the charts, you'll kind of understand where I'm going. But that one holding it at 72.01 and a 71.44. And then ROCO Finance, another one that just broke 70 on sentiment, which is a big thing when you see a project break the 70-point barrier. That is a good test for how consistent the project is, and it usually means the community is starting to grow and really talk about it. And when that happens, whether you like it or not, these kinds of things will start to move the markets, and that is where price action begins. 68.59 for amplification. And I wanted to go back to Babylon. So again, remember that amplification and sentiment on Babylon was tracking very close. And you can kind of see it's had this massive move. So that's driving sentiment right here. And then we see this kind of pop right here. There's not enough trading volume on this one as well. And I'll go with that in a second. But amplification usually starts to accelerate when you see these little dips and these hooks right here, where you'll see maybe more movement on a project like that. So if you're looking at price action, those are some of the things we watch to see how sentiment and amplification affect what's happening in the project analysis itself, and that is really kind of how it's watched out on a live chart right here. Let me zoom out and show you guys what we're talking about on this project overall. So you can kind of see right here, market cap 4.7 million, not a big market cap, so this one definitely has the potential for a lot more, and fully diluted, you can kind of see there. And the $1 million, this is interesting to me when you see basically 25% of the market cap in volume in a 24-hour period, and it's up a little bit as well. So another reason why I'm really watching this particular Launchpad. All right, so that's kind of the rundown today. The key here with these, and I know there's a lot more of the Launchpads that you guys would like to see. Here's what I want to do. I want to open it up to you guys telling us which of the Launchpads that you would like to see out there. I mean, there are a ton of these, and I'll just kind of go through some of the lists that we had to kind of run past you if you like these. So Gamestarter is on our list, SuperLauncher, Avalanche, which we probably should have on there as well. ROCO we covered. Also related would be Polka Locker, Metapad, and Meta Wars. Would you like for us to go and do a little bit more deep dive on some of those projects? Again, these are these more emerging Launchpads that are starting to move in the game space. Let me know if you'd like to see some of those. Drop them in the comments below. That's the best way for us to know what you like. If you're listening in over on the podcast right now, best thing for you guys to do is jump over to the YouTube channel, join in. You'll see these charts. You'll get to see our sentiment analysis, and best of all, you're going to get a chance to jump into the Diamond Circle, which is absolutely free. It's where we do drop a lot of our buys, a lot of our analysis, and a lot of our kind of our long-term holders will be in our Diamond Circle, along with content, guides, how-tos, all that kind of stuff. Flipping over there. Again, it's free to join, easy to get to, so just join in right there. If you want to reach me, you can do it on Twitter, @Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.